Hi, welcome to Focus in Faith. I am Eva, your host, and thank you so very much for joining me this evening here on Focus in Faith. As you know, Focus in Faith is all about you understanding who you are as a spiritual being, okay? Housed in this natural body, having this earthly experience. And what we do here on the show is talk to you, coach you, teach you, right? And remind you that you navigate this life, your life, the journey that you're on in this earth. We teach you how to recognize that you are a spiritual being and how to use your spiritual powers. Powers? What do you mean, Eva? I have powers? Yes, you do. You were given your powers from birth, okay? When you first broke into this world through that birth canal, okay, you were already set. You were already prepared because it was given when you were being incubated in your mama's belly. Yes. So we just have to be reminded of who we are, okay? And when we are, we can tap into our spirit that leads us, that guides us, that help us navigate this life, that speak to us in our mind, okay, and give us guidance and direction, okay, and encouragement. You know, some people say, I encourage myself. Well, who is myself? All right. So, yes, there is more than one of you inside of you, not a clone outside of you. But your spirit is who you are. And this body that houses your spirit, okay, connects and communicate, boom, boom, up there, okay? And a lot of times, those of you who are in tune and in touch with who you are and awakened to who you are, understand that that communication goes on in this magnificent thing we have inside of our skull, which is called a brain. That is the entire operation, okay? And without it, there's no signals going through your body. And sometimes we can literally feel it, especially people that are in touch with their body. You can feel the signals that are going through your body because your brain is the source of all of that. It knows every part of this body. So we don't want to really get too far off into that because that is a whole nother subject in itself. How when some people have limbs that have been cut or taken off or have suffered dismembership, your body your mind can still send signals to your body that continues to think or believe that that limb is still there, and people that have had that dismemberment or surgery to remove that part still feel pain in that area even though it's not there. So that's your brain. This is how powerful this tool is that we have called the brain. And when we tap into it, things happen. But what we want to talk about today, get your handy dandy notebooks out, okay? Because we got some things we want to cover, all right? So we want to talk about your faith. Your faith is the substance of things that you hope for, the substance of it, okay? And the evidence, your faith becomes evidence then of things that you didn't see. Okay, they were unseen things, but because you had faith enough to believe it, that it would happen, that's happening in the spirit realm, okay? That's where your faith lies. That's where when you see things in your mind and you believe it, when we say the evidence, we're talking about the evidence of the unseen thing that hasn't manifested yet. Okay, that's what we mean by unseen. It hasn't manifested, so you can't see it with your natural eye. You can't feel it, taste it, or touch it. All right? Okay, so, but it is when that thing manifested, okay, your faith is what did it. That's what we're talking about here. Faith, write it down, is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Okay? So that's the evidence when it's manifested. That means that you had enough faith and enough courage and enough belief within you, okay, to give power to that thing that you were trying to manifest, that you wanted to happen in your life. It could have been something that you want to create, you know. It could be artwork. It could be, you could be an architect or a construction worker or whatever it is, a toy maker, you know, what is it called? A producer, a filmmaker, all of those things. It starts up here, okay? But you have faith and you believe you can do it, okay? So there's so many things out here that you can do that all starts up here. And it starts with your faith. So you got your handy dandy notebooks out. You had time to get it. Your phones and notepads and everything, okay? This is Focus and Faith, people, all right? So please, if you are wherever you're watching from, make sure to go and subscribe and like and share. There's other people that may enjoy the show or enjoy the information or can make some connection or get some kind of, you know, inspiration from what's going on this show and what we're talking about and what we're learning and what we're actually doing to understand who we are and manifest the evidence that is there that we are who we say we are, who we know we are, and that is a spiritual being. Okay, so we're talking about what you can't see is eternal, okay? What you can see is temporary. You got that? All right? So what you can't see is eternal. What you can see is temporary. Eternal, it's forever, all right? That means it is forever if it's eternal, okay? So, okay, stop right there, Eva. What do you mean it's eternal? That means that you see the vision in your mind, okay? All right? You have faith and you believe it and you know it's going to happen, but sometimes it may not get there in your lifetime, okay? And sometimes it may not be for you to do it, but there are things you may see and visions that you may have of things that's coming or things that are to come, all right? You get me? Are you following me? Those dreams and visions don't die. And even if you do share your dream and vision with someone else and you're not the person to do it and they do it, it gets carried forward. It's eternal. It doesn't die. Okay, we have people that are way makers, that are pioneers, all right, that have started something, and I'm sure you can think of plenty of them, plenty of pioneers that have started something, had a vision with something, and it just keeps going and going and going like that ever-ready battery, you know, that bunny, it just keeps going and going and going. It's eternal, okay? All right, so there are times, you know, especially you may hear, you know, your senior citizens or, you know, older, wiser adults that have said, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime, okay? Or I had dreams of this. It's eternal. Sometimes it may take what seems like an eternity for something to happen, but it is forever. Okay, and it continues on and on. So there are a lot of things that are going to continue to happen for eternity. It's forever. All right, you got that. Your spirit, you are forever. Your spirit doesn't die. Okay, so you got them. All right, so that was number one. What you see is eternal. Number two, what you can see is temporary. All right, so that means that, hold on to your seats now. I'm not saying you're going to die like today, but what I'm saying is that all of the things that have been manifested, right, at some point is going to uh, evaporate, disappear, be destroyed, is going to go away. All right. So there are things that have been made in past history that we will never know of because of the material that it was made out of. It is no longer in existence. Okay, are you following me? There are books that if we don't take care of them, over the years, they will either, the ink will evaporate or the paper will get eaten up and break up and fall apart if you touch it, you know, if your skin. So things get destroyed, some on accident, some on purpose. Okay, so some of the things that you can see, okay, even yourself, all right, at some point is temporary. Okay, it's going to go. It's going to leave this earth, and yes, we will leave this earth as well at some point. But your spirit that's in you is eternal. All right, so let's get out of what we're doing in our life while we're here on this earth. Let's get out of it everything we were sent here to do. Okay, everything, so that you can build a bridge for someone else. All right. That's what we're here to do. You know, we are here to serve each other and then leave a legacy if you can. And your legacy is your love, all right? And into your children and for generations, okay? And then from that, okay, the things that you were sent here to do, you build upon and they build upon. So that becomes forever. Okay, Eva, give me an example of things that have been built upon and has been set down through generations and last forever. Well, if we go back into ancient history, we can look at the Egyptians, we can look at the ancient Mayans, we can look at the ancient history of Asians. I mean, it goes like back, okay? Thousands upon millions of years. Millions, because we have evidence of living beings here for millions of years, be it whether they were Neanderthals or whatever we want to call them, the animals, whatever size they were here, and they were living, breathing beings. Okay, so that generation of beings has passed on. And some people say, oh, I believe in evolution. So be it. Whatever it is that you believe in, understand it's temporary. Okay? If you can see it, most likely it's temporary. But back in ancient days, okay, we have people back then that were able to build structures that last forever. Okay? So this mind can do whatever we set our mind to. All right, so let's move on. The manifestation is for those having trouble believing. That's number 3. So the manifestation of your faith, of what it is you believe you can do, for instance, the Egyptians, or let's talk about the Asians, be it, I don't want to get misquoted here, because there's Chinese and then there's Japanese, okay? But they also have pyramids, okay, and temples from ancient of days, all right? So what we're saying here is that if what you believe in, you're going to create it, okay? And when you create it, what they did was learn to create something that was everlasting, that lasted forever, okay? You get me? Are you following me? All right, so the next one we have is your moment is not just for you, okay? So using the Egyptians as an example, okay, for you Bible scholars and, you know, the ones of you who have this biasness going on with the Egyptians, but we cannot deny the fact that they have built one of the 7 most highest wonders of the world, which is the pyramids, okay? So we don't want to forget that. it wasn't just for them, but it was for the world to see that they have been here. All right. And at the moment that they were building it, it was for whatever purpose they felt it was being built for. They may have not have known that it was going to last this long. You get me? Are you following me? Are you with me? Because I want you to know that they were building a bridge back to their history, which they may not have even known about. Okay? To give us, in this day and time, some kind of understanding as to who we are. Okay? And we are running out of time. So the last one is build a ramp, open doors, create pathways for others to pass through. Okay? Your faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. All right? Create bridges, build ramps for others to be able to cross over so that they can continue your dream. Thank you for being with me. Eva out.